Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly achieve their goals while others struggle? It's about being proactive. Let's delve into the concept of proactivity. Proactivity is about taking the initiative, about making things happen rather than waiting for them to happen to you. It's about being the driver of your life rather than the passenger. It's the antithesis of reactivity, which is a state of constantly responding to circumstances instead of shaping them. Imagine you're a ship sailing on the ocean of life. Being proactive means you're at the helm, steering your ship towards your desired destination. You set the course, adjust the sails, and navigate through the waves and storms. On the other hand, being reactive is like being a ship without a rudder, tossed around by the waves at the mercy of the wind and the currents. To understand the power of proactivity, let's consider a couple of examples. Think about a professional athlete. They don't just sit around and hope for their skills to improve. They don't wait for the perfect conditions to train. No, they set goals, they practice relentlessly, they push their limits, they make sacrifices, they are proactive in their pursuit of excellence. Or consider a successful entrepreneur. They don't just react to market trends, they anticipate them. They don't just solve existing problems, they identify potential ones. They take risks, they innovate, they create opportunities. They are proactive in their quest for success. Being proactive is not just about achieving goals though, it's also about personal growth. Each time you take the initiative, each time you step out of your comfort zone, each time you take control of your circumstances, you grow as a person. You become more confident, more resilient, more adaptable. So the next time you find yourself waiting for something to happen, remember, the power to act lies within you. Don't wait for the perfect moment, create it. Don't wait for opportunities, seize them. Don't wait for success, pursue it. Proactivity is about taking charge of your life, not waiting for things to happen. Consider the story of a successful entrepreneur who launched his own business. Let's talk about John. John was an everyday individual with a 9-to-5 job, a life that many people would describe as ordinary. But John had a vision, a dream to create something of his own, something that would make a difference. Instead of waiting for an opportunity to knock on his door, John decided to create one. He spent countless evenings after work poring over market research, business strategies, and potential business models. He was proactive, taking the reins of his life firmly into his hands, not just dreaming about success, but actively working towards it. John faced many obstacles on his path. There were naysayers who doubted his abilities, financial constraints that seemed insurmountable, and a fiercely competitive market that threatened to swallow his nascent business. But John was not deterred. He believed in his vision and the power of his actions. Every setback was a lesson for John. He learned, adapted, and moved forward. He was proactive in seeking solutions, in learning from his mistakes, and in turning every challenge into an opportunity. His actions were driven by his unwavering belief in himself and his vision. Over time, his hard work began to pay off. His business started to grow, slowly but surely. His innovative ideas and proactive approach began to set his business apart from the competition. Success didn't happen overnight, but when it did come, it was a testament to John's perseverance, proactivity, and the power of his actions. John's story is not unique. It's the story of countless entrepreneurs who dared to dream and took proactive steps to make their dreams a reality. It's a story of not just dreaming but doing. It's a story of the power of proactivity, of taking action, and of believing in oneself. His success was not a stroke of luck, it was the result of his proactivity and the power of his actions. It's not enough to have a dream or a plan, you must take action. Imagine you're standing at the foot of a mountain. It's a massive, intimidating peak that stretches up into the clouds. You have a map in your hands, a plan to reach the top. You've studied the terrain, you've prepared your gear, you've even visualized yourself at the summit, taking in the breathtaking view. But unless you put one foot in front of the other and start climbing, that mountain isn't going anywhere, and neither are you. The same principle applies to any dream or goal you might have. Whether you're aspiring to start your own business, write a novel, or run a marathon, the first step is always the same, taking action. Now you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I face obstacles? And to that I say, so what? Failure and obstacles are part of life. They're the stepping stones on your path to success. Every time you stumble, you learn. Every time you fall, you get up stronger. And it's through taking action that you get the opportunity to stumble, to fall, and to rise again. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He failed over 1,000 times before he finally invented the light bulb. But he didn't see those attempts as failures. He saw them as steps on the path to success. Each failure brought him one step closer to his goal. And the same can be true for you. So how do you start taking action? Well, it's simple. Break your goal down into manageable steps. Instead of trying to tackle the whole mountain at once, focus on climbing one hill at a time. And remember, it's not about how fast you climb, but about taking consistent, deliberate steps towards your goal. In the end, it's the action you take that brings your dreams to life. It's the action that turns the impossible into the possible. It's the action that makes the difference between those who dream and those who do. Without action, even the best plans remain just that, plans. There's a certain joy that comes from taking action and seeing the fruits of your labor. Imagine it's a chilly Sunday morning. The world is still and a blanket of tranquility wraps around you. You're faced with a choice. Stay curled up in the comfort of your warm bed or lace up your running shoes and hit the pavement for that 5-mile run you've been planning. You choose the latter. As you run, your lungs fill with crisp air, your heart beats in rhythm with your strides, and a sense of accomplishment washes over you. This, my friend, is the joy of action. It's the thrill of pushing yourself, of moving, of doing, and ultimately, of achieving. Let's consider another scenario. You've been working on a project for weeks, maybe even months. There have been late nights, early mornings, and countless cups of coffee. But now, with the final touches in place, you step back and take in the result of your hard work. It's a masterpiece. The sense of satisfaction that swells within you is immeasurable, and that's the joy of action. It's the same joy that a gardener feels when they see the first sprouts peeking through the soil after days of nurturing. It's the joy a chef experiences when they taste the perfect balance of flavors in a dish they've spent hours preparing. It's the joy a writer feels when they pen the last line of a novel that's taken them on an incredible journey. Each of these experiences is unique, yet they all share a common thread: the joy of action. It's a feeling that transcends the boundaries of profession, age, and culture. It's a universal emotion, a reward that's available to anyone willing to take action. And the best part? This joy isn't fleeting. It stays with you, inspiring you to take more action, to set bigger goals, and to strive for greater heights. It becomes a cycle, a beautifully rewarding cycle of action, achievement, and joy. So go ahead. Embrace the joy of action, because as you'll soon discover, the joy of action is a reward in itself. So, how can you become more proactive and harness the power of action? Let's delve into that. First and foremost, you must understand that proactivity is a muscle. Like any other muscle, it strengthens with regular exercise. Start by taking small steps forward. It could be as simple as making your bed every morning or completing a task on your to-do list that you've been putting off. Next, cultivate a growth mindset. Embrace challenges, persevere in the face of setbacks, and understand that effort is the path to mastery. Remember, mistakes are not failures, they are opportunities to learn and grow. One of the biggest barriers to action is fear. But remember, fear is just false evidence appearing real. So confront your fears, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Often, you'll find that the worst-case scenario isn't as catastrophic as you've built it up to be in your mind. Now, let's talk about inertia. Overcoming inertia requires momentum, and momentum is created by consistent action. Establish a routine that includes daily actions towards your goals. Remember, it's not about the size of the action, but the consistency. Time management is another key aspect of proactivity. Prioritize your tasks and manage your time effectively. Understand that not everything that is urgent is important. Learn to differentiate between the two and focus your energy on what truly matters. Finally, surround yourself with proactive individuals. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with go-getters and action takers, their energy and drive will undoubtedly rub off on you. Embrace the process. Proactivity is not a destination, but a journey. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small they may seem. Each step you take is a step closer to your goals. Remember, the best time to act was yesterday. The next best time is now. So, take that first step, start that project, make that call, write that book, run that mile. Embrace proactivity, harness the power of action, and watch as your world transforms.